Today, we are planning our menus, doing some grocery shopping, and also a little cooking. So if you're interested in what we are going to do exactly, stay tuned. Good morning. Well, let's look at our August plan. And I'm going all the way back. You know, the last week of what would have been July, I did my big grocery shop. And that's not actually in this book. This is the August book. And so I've kept up with my menus along the way, what I've served each night. And you notice I didn't have to go to the grocery at all. Then last week, I have our menu as to what we did, and actually we called in on Sunday and had a meal delivered. And I started my grocery list because it won't be long before it's actually time to start taking a look at that one shop, one pickup, and that's it. Because I like doing curbside groceries. And so I turned over to this week. I'm also looking at our meals for this week and what we're serving all the way through to Sunday. I've got everything already planned out. I didn't put anything under the grocery section since we have such a big list already running. So I'm just going to keep that list running. So next week, which will be my shop week, what I will do is to start to pull over all those things during August that I thought of that we needed and put it on this final list. And then what I will do is to set it up on Kroger, set up the time, and do a curbside pickup. And needless to say, I will have a full trunk full of groceries as well as back seat. But this is one shop, one pickup. So we have our plan. Now I haven't planned for next week yet. I haven't decided what it's going to be. I know I'm going to do some kind of pork dish on Monday just because that's what I'm planning to do. But I wanted to get all of that ready, and I will set that up. I'm in the process of transferring the information from my weekly and daily menu book over to my monthly calendar. And I'm all the way down to the 28th of August with my calendar, and so that puts me really in a pretty good place. I'm looking back at July to see if there's something in July that I might want to include in the new month. Now hold on one second. Now, so this was July, and I'm trying to see those things that I might want to bring back. And I think one of those things that I'm going to bring back is some salmon. We had salmon with fresh corn and a big salad, and that went over really good. So I'm thinking I'm going to need to find a spot for salmon. And I think I'm going to put salmon right here for the 28th. And then I can decide whatever the extras are going to be. But salmon's going to be right there. So let me go over to the 28th, because I do have some things that, since I had it right there, I plugged them in on the calendar as I was thinking about them. And I'm going to fold this back. Those are just some notes. And I'm going to put in, we had pork. I want it pulled. And we're going to add barbecue sauce. And on the 25th, we're going to have a nice tuna salad. Let's see, what did I decide for Wednesday? Well, Wednesday, the only thing I know for sure I'm having is potato salad. So we'll put that down here. And then we'll have to decide on what our meat will be. I haven't done that yet. I'll have to look in the freezer. Have lots of chicken in there. For the 27th, I want to do some homemade flatbread pizzas. And you know, I'll have to show you how I do that. And in fact, the pizza dough is so easy and we can do it in advance. Now the 28th, we're back to our salmon. And I think with that salmon, I'm going to make my own oven fries. Now, I like having my calendar because I can quickly look at the month, and if I get an idea while I'm looking over here, I can just plug it in. But I'm also running my grocery list because, as you can see, I don't have salmon on here, so I do need to add that. We're going to need some russet potatoes for those oven fries. And I have, I'm going to use red skin potatoes for the potato salad. I've got those. Have to pick up some more tomatoes. The big guys been going through those pretty good. In canned goods, you know, I've got quite a bit of canned goods, but I'm thinking I probably need some more marinara sauce. Okay, and we need tuna, and I love the albacore tuna. That's really good. I've got plenty of mayo, and we've got mustard and hot sauce, because the guy goes through hot sauce. And we also need some juices. I'll put juices down there because I know exactly what he wants. So now it's time to go to Kroger and let the fingers do the walking. Planning, cooking, and decorating are the things that I do in my kitchen all the time. And if you like those types of things, I invite you to join the Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme family, because this is where we work hard, we love God and family, and we know without a doubt that everything else is just gravy. So right now, go down to the subscribe button and click on it. Also, while you're there, tap that little bell icon so that every time I upload a video, you will know. Also, you may also go down into the description box and take a look at some of my favorite Amazon items. And I list those types of things all the time because as I use them, I invite you to use them also. So there's a nice running list of things there. Multitasking is always necessary, so while I'm planning, I am also doing a little cooking. So I'm putting together a potato corn chowder soup because I love potatoes, and it's so delicious and comforting. And it doesn't have to be cold in order to have this particular soup. Yes, it's very hearty, but that's okay. We like it that way. So in the skillet, I have actually grated up an entire potato. And I did that because I want these potatoes to break down almost completely, because that's going to be what makes the real substance of this potato corn chowder. As I think about it also, I'm going to put down in the description box the recipe just in case I forget and there's something that I may not tell you. I'm also going to note any additional things that you may need to know in order to prepare this recipe. So we have potatoes, we have onions, and we're going to let that cook and simmer by itself, low and slow, while we're working. You'll see we're also going to add some Mrs. Dash, because Mrs. Dash is really very good for seasoning when you're trying to season up your soup. And so I'm just taking that time. Now actually I went back and added a second potato. I had about 5 potatoes, and I'm using russet potatoes. So I'm going to shake in about 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons of Mrs. Dash, because Mrs. Dash has a real nice mixture of spices. So we want to make sure that those spices are included. Now we're going to simmer that and just let it get happy. We're also going to add some garlic, but you notice I didn't add the garlic at the very beginning, and that's because we do not want this garlic to burn. We want the garlic flavor, but burnt garlic ruins a dish, so we have to be very careful with that. So I'm adding about 1 teaspoon of garlic into the container. And you'll notice that when I store my jar of minced garlic, I put it in a Ziploc bag, because that helps to keep any smells in the bag rather than in my refrigerator. So I'm just stirring that up, and you can kind of see the heat coming off of it. I'm giving the onions a chance to clear. We're going to need some chicken broth, because we want to be able to add all of that. Now, so look, I'm starting to add the larger pieces of potato. That's the diced potato that I'm adding in. And I'll just continue to add and add as we go with this dish. So let's give it a little bit of time. I have added the chicken broth, and then you have to take your wooden spoon, and you really have to make sure that it is dragging the bottom of your pot that you are cooking your soup in. And I'm using my brazier just because it's usually here on my stove, and it's one of my favorite cooking containers. So that's the reason why I'm using it. And it holds the heat and it cooks well. I use it a lot. Now, so what we're going to do is that I'm just going to let this cook low and slow so that we can bring it up to temperature. We're going to let those little shredded pieces of potato break down. It's going to thicken the soup all by itself. You will not have to add any thickener whatsoever. And of course, the larger pieces of potato will give you the substance that you want. Now I'm also adding in 2 bouillon cubes. And the reason for that is that potatoes have a tendency to really require a lot of seasoning. And while, yes, we put in Mrs. Dash, and yes, I've added a little bit of salt and pepper, I've added in the garlic, but we needed a little more. and I had a really good chicken broth, but it needs more. It needs more flavor, and that's because the potatoes soak up that flavor. So I'm just giving it a good stir, and as it comes up to temperature, I don't want the bouillon to stick. I want to make sure that it dissolves well, and that it gets into those potatoes. So that's what we're doing. We also keep in mind that you can use fresh corn and just cut it off the cob, or you can use frozen corn. If it's one of those days and you've got plenty in your freezer, why not? Why not throw that freezer corn into this soup? It's going to make it so good. Now, this is going to be cooking low and slow on my stove most of the day. So by the time dinner time comes, wow, it is going to be wonderful. You are going to be so happy that you prepared this soup. And you know, if you want to add crackers, or if you want to add some type of hearty bread that's toasted, or some Texas toast, or any of that, then you can certainly do that. Just butter it up and you're good to go. Even some garlic toast would be delicious. Cornbread, shall I say, oh yum yum, would be great with this soup. Now I'm going to take the sausage out of the oven. I also have sausage and bacon. And what I'm doing with this is that my plan is to prepare the sausage and bacon for breakfast. And you know, it's the bacon sometimes takes a little longer, and so I had to use a spatula and take the bacon off the pan. Now I'm going to sit it on some paper towel. And the reason for doing this and pre-cooking all of this is so that breakfast comes together very quickly. Now, get ready, because what you could do when it's time for dinner is to take a few pieces of this bacon and crumble it over your soup with some little diced or sliced green onions, and your soup will be over the top. You could even sprinkle a little Parmesan cheese on top. Am I making your mouth water yet? Mine is. So, we're ready to go. Now, for those of you who haven't done pickup before, it's really neat. You go to Kroger's or whatever your favorite grocery store is that does pick up. It may be Publix, it may be Kroger, it could be Lowe's Foods, and there are several others, Piggly Wiggly. Pretty much all of them will do, and including Food Line will even do grocery pickup. Now, so what we're going to do is that I'm going to look, because I already have some things in the cart. So as I found them, I went ahead and put them in my shopping cart. So I'm looking at a few things. I have my baking, I've got my bread flour. I'm just putting a little dot in front of those things I know I've already done. I've got the bread flour, I got my self-rising flour. Let's see, brown sugar. We always need, you know, I don't have caramels. Let's see if Kroger has caramels. And we'll put that off to the side. Let's see. Let's go over here to Kroger. And I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to type in caramels. And see what we get. Oh, good. We've got just what I need. I want the individually wrapped caramels. And the good thing is that you can click on it if you want to read the details. If you don't need to read the details, you just click, add it to the cart. And then if you need more than one, you can tell it that. But I will just need one for what I'm doing. I also need some marshmallows. And it gives you suggestions down at the bottom. Now for this, I don't want the minis. So I'm gonna get, let's see, Kroger's has their marshmallows, and we're just gonna be making some more. So I'm gonna get 2 bags, because what I'm doing is that I'm doing a little treat bag for my grands. And so we're gonna need some marshmallows. I also need graham crackers. There they are, and you see the little window that comes down. Go down, click on graham crackers. I like either Honey Maid or Nabisco. So let's see what we've got. Lots of Honey Maid. Now, so I think I'll get the Honey Maid fresh stacks, because that gives us the little stacks, and I can just send the stacks to each house. So I'll get one of those. I better get 2. Okay, now, so that's good. Okay, I got the s'mores. Oh, well, if we have s'mores, we must have Hershey's chocolate. Now, I want the extra large, I think. Let's see, here's a bag of bars. Now, what is that? Let's see what that is. In this case, I'm going to actually click on it, and it will show me what is inside. And, oh. Okay, so we're going to need to add that, and we'll add 2, because it has 2 houses, maybe 3, but we'll work on that. Oh, you get 6 Hershey's milk chocolate bars that are individually wrapped. Oh, that's great. Well, this will work out just perfect. Let's see, isn't that cute? Look, it says you might also like, and then it gives us our marshmallows and our graham crackers down here at the bottom. So if I had forgotten those, I could certainly go down there and put those in. That worked out wonderful. So that takes care of the s'mores. It also gives you ideas for cookies. Oh, I don't need to look at that. Okay, well, let's go back down our cart and see what we've got. So I'm going to go under View Cart, sign in again. Okay. Now, got the flowers. Okay, so I got rice. I know that's already on there. Rotel tomatoes. Now, actually, I've got quite a few of those, so I'm going to cut back on those. I thought I'd need a lot. Pinto beans, I do want those by the bag. Thick sliced, uncured, hardwood smoked bacon. I need that. We've got rye bread. The big guy likes rye. I better do 2. And I like this one, so I'm going to do 2. Because for me, I can freeze mine. I'm good with that. We have apple juice, and I've got the private selection slices, got turkey, cheddar, parm. Okay, so we're doing pretty good. Now, let's go to meats. Now we're gonna search for, I don't need any chicken. I need some ground beef. And I want, now you notice, let me show you this. See if I can bring in a little closer. You get these rolls. Don't buy those because you can't see what's inside. One of the fellows was putting meat out, and I have to admit, I used to buy them because you could get them for a pretty good price. And he said, oh no, don't ever get those, because he said they just aren't what you think they are. So it's not the quality that you may like. So be sure to make sure you're getting packages where you can see your beef. With school beginning, whether it's virtual or whether it's in person, you know that your household is going to change from what it's been all summer. So now it's a time to start thinking and planning as to what you're going to do in the month of September, because September is just around the corner. So we're going to be looking at September next week and taking a real good glance at those things that we can prepare for dinner that are healthy and can be served two ways. So we can serve them during the actual dinner meal, and we can also have it for lunch. And so we're going to be taking a look at that. Also, we're going to take a look at the entire month of September and see if we can start using our June calendars and our July calendars and our August calendars, and see if we can start putting September together, because now you've got at least 2 months of menus. And so it should be very easy to start planning the following month. So think about what your favorite dishes are, what your family likes, and let's get to it. Our soup is just about ready, and at this point we're going to add in the corn, because it doesn't take that long for corn to cook. So we're going to add in just enough, and I'm adding it in. I won't say how much I've put in at this point, because you have to look at how much liquid you have, and you also have to look at how thick your soup is. So if you like somewhat of a thin, more runny soup, then you may not want to put as much corn in. But if you like it thick and hearty, then certainly you may add extra. But those chunks of potatoes, you can see them floating around. And the other potato that we put in that was grated, it has become almost a liquid. Now what I'm doing is tasting to see if I need to up any flavors. And so far, so good. So I am just giving this a stir. I'm going to turn the heat up and let it come to a boil. Put the top on it because we don't want to lose any of that goodness. So we're going to let that come up to a boil, and then we're ready for dinner. I hope you've enjoyed going to the grocery store, doing what we have to do, looking to see what we purchased, and checking out our list. Because remember, one shop, 1 month, and done. So, thanks for coming along on the journey. I'll see you soon, right here in the kitchen of Ebony, Ivy, and Thyme, where we work hard. We love God and family, and we know without a doubt that everything else is just gravy. I'll see you soon.